How's it going, everybody? I am DeanoGTO, and today we're going to be looking at the Type 4 Heavy, the Tier 9 Japanese Super Heavy tank on Erlenberg. So, this tank here is one of my favorite tanks in my garage at the moment, because it's just fun. It has a 600 alpha damage 14cm gun. I am not using the derp gun, and the more I use this gun, the more I decide, no, I'm not going to use the derp, because this gun's awesome. Having 600 alpha damage at tier 9 is just brutal. It's actually awesome to have 600 alpha damage at tier 9. I will admit though, the reload I have in my tank is 17.05 seconds, which is really long, but given the survivability on this tank, it really doesn't hurt that much. Like 17.05 seconds, it's a slow reload, but you can kind of put up with it given the survivability of the tank. And yes, I did just bounce off an LT432, but that's not going to be particularly representative of the rest of the game. You will see. So, take a hit from the Conqueror there. Doesn't penetrate. Not really too concerned about that. So, this tank here has 2050 health. Now you'll see why I'm mentioning this here later on in the match, but it has a titanic amount of health, and in a match like this where you're against tier 7s, that means that it's going to take them a substantial amount of time to actually whittle your health down to the point where they can kill you. Which means you can actually use your health to kind of take risks where you normally wouldn't. But we will see that there a little bit later on in the game. But right now, I've just decided I want to delete this guy, just remove him from the battle, because may as well remove a gun from the game if you can. IS6 rolls around the corner, optimistically tries to shot against me, and well, he's firing AP. Even if he was firing APCR, the chances of him pinning me would be very low. So, just trying to keep an eye out on like what exactly is happening around the map. I know the Conqueror is pretty much in the middle. I know the Type 4 Heavy on the enemy team is pretty much in the middle. Although we don't know where their Objective 7 is, and I actually don't even remember where he gets spotted on, where he even gets spotted in this game. And yes, I got a really lucky shot into that T-32. Shot went directly to where I needed to go, penetrated him, and well, did 574 damage. Then the LT-432, by the way, fired a premium AP round into me, and well, as you'd expect, considering I think that thing's premium round had like 200 or something penetration, it bounced off. But yeah, this is the moment I'm talking about here. I don't have any real fear of these guys behind me, or to my right, killing me, so I'm just like, I want to get the shot into the Conqueror. I get 640 damage, which is pretty awesome. And I really don't care about losing 700 health. And that's because I'm just supremely confident in my ability to survive. Like it's completely impossible in my mind right now for me to die in this game, because I have a super heavy spall liner. The artillery, as you just saw, is doing 0 damage to me, and if they start firing HE at me, they're going to do 0 damage as well. The only tank that has hope of doing damage to me with HE is something with a 150mm gun, and the only tank on the enemy team that could have a 150mm gun is the enemy Type 4, who is in the middle of the map. And yes, that Scorpion did the obligatory Erlenberg or Derpenberg, and drowned himself in a puddle. Because, you know, Derpenberg will always be Derpenberg. And the LT-432 rolls around the corner, tries to get shot into me. He actually pins me, which is actually a surprise. But, well, I think I got a bit more out of that than him. Because that was, I think, nearly 700 damage in one shot, because I set him on fire. The T-34 one's being a little bit ballsy, but he falls back before my gun's loaded. And also, yeah, I have a really long reload right now because I did get ammo racked. And actually, let's just quickly take a look to see where that guy shot me. Oh yes, yeah, he shot me there. So it looks like that's roughly where the ammo rack actually is on this tank. I also had a feeling it was in like this frontal area around here. So that actually brings up like an interesting point I want to make about this tank and why this tank I actually think is balanced, whereas the tier 10 is not. So this thing here I think has 240mm of frontal armor. So, the tier 10 has 270, but the 270 is all over the front, as well on these like cheek plates here. On this tank here, it's 240mm on the frontal armor, and then it's 200 here. So that's a 40mm weaker plate that can be easily exploited by enemy tanks. Instantly makes the tank substantially more balanced. Plus, I refuse to use the derp gun, which also helps, I guess. because the gun will troll you from time to time, and you're not going to get damage with every single shot you fire like you would with the derp gun as long as you hit. So it requires a lot more thought to actually play this tank with this gun, although saying that, in this matchmaking, not particularly. It's just all RNG and luck. So yeah, 617 damage into the IS-6, track him in place, but yeah, he obviously repairs tracks and falls back. At this point I noticed the Object 257 and the Conqueror are kind of rushing the IS. I'm trying to decide what exactly to do here. Just pretty much just ignore the IS-6 at this point while I'm trying to decide like what exactly I want to do. And yeah, I can see the Conqueror just rushed our... what is it again? Oh yeah, the IS. And, well, the Conqueror, after he kills the... well, after he assists in killing the IS, I nuke him, finish him off, remove him from the match because, well, he was easily the biggest threat that was remaining on the enemy team. And the Object 57 dies to our artillery, the SU-14-1, wherever he is. I actually don't know where on the map that guy would be. Oh, right. He's up in the very top right of the map there. I was actually looking for his marker, but I couldn't see it for the life of me there. But yeah, he's in the top right of the map there, if you couldn't see that. Now, I'm going to start moving towards the middle of the map, because that's where the last few vehicles on the enemy team have been spotted. And yeah, just go quickly to talk about a couple of other things just while we're getting across here, because this tank, even though it can do 25 now instead of 20, it's not a fast tank. So when it comes to the SU-130 PM missions that are on at the moment, I've made it to tier 8 so far. I've unlocked tier 8. So right now I have a 70% discount on the SU-130 PM if I wanted to get it. I'm just going to tell you right now, even though I've done over half the grind at this point, or just over half the grind, 128,000 XP out of 253, there's no way in hell I'm going to do the entire grind for the 253,000 XP that's needed. It's just way too much. The time investment that you're required to grind 253,000 XP is just insane. Like, the maximum I'm going to do is finishing tier 8, unlocking tier 9, 8% discount, and then that'll be where I stop, because doing any further than that, in my opinion, is honestly insane. And yeah, that right there is just me exploiting something which a lot of people actually forget about, because that like stream there is completely crossable when it comes to areas with these like sort of like ramps. So if I'm honest with you, I probably should have paused this earlier rather than pause it here, because I'm in between buildings now and I can't really position the camera the way I want to. But whenever you see like, yeah, this is stupid. I'm just going to rewind this back for a second just so I can show you what I mean. So when it comes to like these areas here with these like really steep like bankings, and sorry, the camera's really dumb. Whenever you collide with a building, it zooms the camera in and you can't zoom out whenever it does that. But whenever it comes to like these like really steep drops here, you obviously can't climb that. But when it comes to these like more like progressive sort of like ramped areas like that and like that, you can climb those areas and you can completely exploit that there to just get across the map a lot faster than you could back in the earlier days of the game. And it's one thing I highly recommend trying to do if you can. In this tank here, it's really easy because it's so tall. It drowns for like a second, then after that, it just doesn't care anymore. But I got the kill in Type 4 Heavy there. I actually got a shot into him previously as well. And now I'm just going to try and keep moving forward towards where the Lorraine 40T was spotted. He killed the SU-14-1, so may as well just start heading towards him. This is assault mode, which means we can't capture an enemy base, so there's no point in heading towards the spawn. So let's see what happens here to finish off the game. Lorraine 40T rushes towards the M12, rams him, kills the M12, and the enemy the friendly Lorraine 40T gets really close to the enemy one, but our SU-152 manages to nail the Lorraine 40T from across the map, which is pretty insane. Like, he was right in front of me there. With that gun, I believe he's using the 152. That's a pretty lucky shot, because that thing's a 152mm gun is horrendously derpy. Like, this gun here is kind of derpy, but it's nowhere near it's nowhere near as derpy as that thing's gun. So yeah, this is just a tank in general, which I have a massive amount of fun driving, and probably the most fun vehicle to fight against in this tank is the Object 257. you see having this 14cm gun where you can overmatch their like really well angled side armor, like the lower side armor behind the tracks on an Object 257. That's I think 45mm thick, which means you need a gun bigger than 135mm to overmatch. And because everybody assumes these things are using the HE cannon, no one expects the 14cm. And as soon as you hit them with a 14cm, they shit themselves and run like hell. It's amazing. Oh Jesus, like it is just so funny to see Object 57s panic whenever you whack them with a 600 alpha shot and they're just not expecting it. You can see them just like being like all confident, just expecting to take like no damage from a HE round, and then they get hit for 600 and there's like, what the fuck? It's amazing. I love it. But yeah, this is just a tank I have a lot of fun driving. It has a lot of weaknesses that can be exploited. It's massive. It's really easy to Soviet side hug, and it's really slow. It's really like awkward in some maps because well, Prokhorovka, as you can imagine, is not a good map for this tank. On Prokhorovka, basically you feel useless a lot of the time, and a lot of the time you have to camp at the back of the map because the second you get spotted is the second you just get eviscerated by everything on the enemy team. So yeah, even though the tank is supremely powerful on some maps, there are other maps where this tank is probably one of the weakest you could possibly have. So yeah, it's a real flip of the coin with this tank, but at the same time, I've got like over 60, I think it's like a 67% win rate over nearly 70 games. Oh Jesus, like this tank is awesome. Like a 67% win rate in a tank which I did the entire stock grind for is just ridiculous. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this video in the comment section below, and thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.